I strolled me a 19 way. Oh, sorry.
And I had a thing I was going to do to interrupt too.
I was.
You do this.
Oh, you guys are a delight. Welcome everybody to this session of The Keep. We're very glad that you've come along with us for the adventure. Before we jump right into it, we are going to go over just a few announcements. As always, we're going to start with highlighting Take This, which is an awesome nonprofit charity organization devoted to increasing awareness and decreasing the stigma of mental health issues in the gaming community. They do awesome, much needed work and have a variety of wonderful resources, so you should totally check them out and donate if you can, because they, like I said, they just do awesome work. And it's much needed in these crazy times we live in. Also, things you should check out are us on social media. We are on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. You can find our podcast, Keep Lounging, on SoundCloud. You can also find us on YouTube and Twitch at The Keep RPG across platforms. Also on YouTube, you can totally check out the Pandaverse from Jeremiah and Night Shift Night from Garrett over here. Would you guys like to give a brief little description of what you do?
You first, my dude.
Oh, God. Oh, it's me. Everyone's paying attention. I'm scared. So, yeah, I am myself, and I do videos, except I don't do them as often as I should, because I'm very slow at making my videos lately. I'm going to try and get better on that. But, speaking of butt, I have been working on the clone, and there's a butt. So anyway, I'm working on that current project of making a clone trooper out of EVA foam, and it's fun, and it's great. And I have several toy reviews that should be coming up hopefully soon when I get to them. And since I haven't been recording it because I've been doing it at work, I've been also working on building a Mandalorian suit of armor, but it's made out of steel. So Today we're just going to do a show and tell of something I've also been working on, because that's fun. Yeah, it's going to be good. So toy reviews, projects of making things, and just stuff. Oh, yeah. Also, because I got a wild hair, I'm working on Sephiroth again. And there's this big belt buckle from the remake game, because that game is dope, and I'm playing it again, and it's still dope. I want part 2. Give me part 2. Square Enix, hurry up! Please hurry up.
I'm just kidding.
I want to pay you money, Square Enix.
I will literally pay you to hurry.
I am not wealthy. I am poor. I will pay you for the game.
Right.
But please hurry. I want part 2. I want it to wait.
I hear that.
Anyway, Jay! He does stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He's cool!
Yeah, so twitch.tv/thepandaverse, YouTube/thepandaverse, TikTok/thepandaverse. I finally acquiesced to peer pressure and got an Instagram and a Twitter, Pandaverse Twitter, and yeah, I'm that type of loser. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. We did do game reviews, do gameplay, hangout, chat. Saturday night, one of the people that follows me did a rather large raid, and that was a party. So yeah, it was fun. So come check it out. Monday through Friday, noon to 1 Central, and then Friday nights and Saturday nights, 6 to whatever time I am tired and say I'm done. So yeah, cool. Back to you, Lauren. Thank you, my good sir.
You're gonna have to keep it on this side.
Oh, fun.
Because that cord's not long enough.
Fair enough. Wait, did Lauren freeze?
Possibly.
I think she did. There he goes.
We're back to you.
Yay, tech issues are fun, guys. So without further ado, and while I still have internet connection, let's go ahead and jump into the recap.
Good, because I don't remember what we were doing.
So, with revelations of Tiamat and her allies present within the city, tensions mount in Dragonthrone. After making a trip to the library to dispose of the Puppet Master's sword, Doran took the opportunity to learn more about the deal he and Quaesitor had entered into with Granny Titchwillow, helping to find a way to break the hag's hold on his last breath, his dying breath. Meanwhile, Rye and Halberd made their way to the Aunts, where Rye received a gift from her past, and Halberd draws a little bit of a connection to his own, making a connection with Archivist Halduin in hopes of gaining help collecting the journals from the Sanctum of the Tree. A night's rest gives the party renewed.
Beer is it?
A few outstanding threads. Halberd traveled back up the cliffside to meet with Silux and Xantir, the brother of Vanira, who was the Oracle, the very young Oracle of Bahamut. Training with Xantir for a short while before offering the young man an opportunity to reunite with his sister, Silux turned his attention to the situation at hand. How does one solve a problem like Tiamat? Little did the 11th hour know that forces arrayed against them were seeking their own answers and implementing their own dark designs.
I did not add that to the recap.
Of course you didn't.
New edition.
Of course you didn't. I've got to make it my own, put my own little spin on things. We are going to go ahead and kick things off with catching Rye and Quaesitor up on the day that the others have just experienced. So, you are with Gertie. She has led you through the city.
Like, we all need to just freeze when this happens.
Would restarting her internet help?
A quieter area. Okay, and we're back. So it's a quieter area. Y'all are making your way through the side streets, and you are led into a fairly large temple. The front of it is open for worship. There is a teaching area and multiple side rooms that are presented in various capacities. Some seem more meditative and devoted to prayer. You see one that is sort of holds a small shrine of candles. From what you have seen and from what Rye is familiar with, seem to be some sort of memorial to those who have passed on. And there is, as Gertie leads you through the back passageways, she comes to a small room and a mosaic on the wall. It is comprised of multiple, looks like ceramic tiles that have been creating this beautiful design of a feathered serpent with long wings extending behind it. You both recognize the form of a coatl, stylized and with most of its celestial attributes exaggerated, and beautiful shades of pinks and purples shading to blue at the tips of the wings and on the belly. And Gertie leads you into this chamber and closes it behind you. And she takes a small stone from her pocket. You can't really make out what it is, but she comes forward to the mosaic and she presses something into the wall. There is a flash of light, and the coatl that had been stylized on the wall now stands bodily float, really, bodily in front of you, guarding a newly opened doorway and a stairway leading down. Gertie gives a brief bow and says, "Guardian, I have brought new ones who seek entrance. If you find them worthy, I would take them through." What are y'all doing?
Pull out a snack for snacks.
Man,
Just for Garrett.
Fall back.
My ADHD is kicking in real hard, and all I can think is, how do you solve a problem like Tiamat? So, Brenda, I'm counting on you, Brenda, to lead this.
Small point of order, Lauren. Rycast. Oh, I think she's frozen again.
That's a great face. Somebody screenshot that. Where's my print screen? Got it.
Small point of order, Rye casts Nystel's magic aura to appear as an elf in the morning.
Okay.
I will give a deep curtsy and a traditional greeting of Bahamut to the Coatl.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay. Not terribly excited about that. That's a 12.
12. Okay. Quaesitor, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna ask it, what do you require of us?
It looks. What language are you asking it in first? Just common?
Celestial.
Celestial. Okay.
This is gonna go awful.
It turns to you and it answers in that same tongue. Nothing more complicated than a faithful heart. Will you submit yourself to my judgment? It says in common.
Yes.
Rye's gonna bow her head.
It will copy Rye.
boss fight.
You feel a weight of its gaze on you and a stirring of something deep within your mind. A brief flash of memories. You blink. And you look back up and you see its gaze meeting yours. Pupil-less eyes fixed upon you, glowing with a soft silver glow. I find you acceptable, it says. You may pass. And you're permitted entry down the stairs through a short, dark tunnel into a cavernous room, lit not with torches or candlelight, but with glowing crystals set every couple of feet into the ceiling that provide a soft, cool light. There are parchments and scrolls, there are journals and etchings and various manuscripts that are shelved. It's a fairly small chamber, only 10 by 15 feet or so. And these shelves are old but well cared for. Gertie nods, says, well, I believe most of our work could be found probably on this shelf, and she gestures at one, and perhaps that over there. Would you care to begin?
Of course.
All right. So at this point, I'm going to have both of y'all rolling investigations.
10.
10.
I got a nat 20 for a total of 30, Lauren.
Okay.
Dang!
Quaesitor,
Yes.
you find on the shelf where Gertie directed you a number of star charts that sort of capture your attention. They track the stars and the planets as it charts their courses across the sky. You find a number of journals and studies of astrological events and significant connections to periods of history. There are times when magic seems to grow stronger or weaker, where it waxes and wanes with the flow of the skies. And for a while you're caught up in this. You're pretty sure there might be something here, but as time passes and you're entering the 3rd hour and then the 4th, you're not finding anything conclusive. Nothing that would really get you any particular information. So you start moving on. A little ways down the stack, you find a journal of one Armin J, who lived about 20 years after the Shattering, who was a cleric of Bahamut, and whose journals described and detailed a number of the recovery efforts, where it's been a decades-long process, and he's charting the progression of that, and realizing, almost despairing, that it's going to take his lifetime and probably several more to even start to make a significant comeback from this devastating event.
Say his name one more time, please, ma'am.
Armin J.
Jay. And did
Didn't
you give
do
the
it.
name? Did you describe the event or give the name of the event?
Both. He at that point it was definitely being called the Shattering. There are multiple references made to the Shatterlands.
Okay.
And most of his journal seems to be specifically detailing the recovery efforts after this particular event.
Okay, gotcha.
Brenda, you're finding a number of journals similarly, contemporaries of this one that Quaesitor finds. But there's one that catches your attention. Gertie actually helps to guide you to the shelf where she thinks it might be. She's talking about the work of an arcane archaeologist who studied the effects of the Shattering in particular, recovering artifacts and pieces of history specifically from the Shattered Lands, which are very dangerous to go through. You're finding a number of journeys that he took, detailing various paths that he took and maps describing his journey. This one in particular by Kaz Hansen catches your eye, dated about 400 years ago, so about 200 years after the Shattering. There's one in particular as you're going through this journal where he's describing some of the artifacts that he's come across, and you find drawings where it seems like his words taper off, and he starts describing this necklace that he found, this charm on this chain in beautiful, pristine condition. And you find it rendered immaculately from multiple angles. There's real definition to this, and it seems to be pristine, and it catches your eye even in a drawing. The power of it, and there's something about the symbols and the runes that draw the eye to it, a sense of power that it contains, and about this necklace, and writes how he's going to gift it away, and he has this picture that he has drawn, this sketch of a lovely young woman.
Okay, I'm tracking this.
human in the picture. She's a young human woman, late teens, early 20s, long dark hair. That's the afternoon goes on, the time passes, and you're pretty pleased with the results of your investigations. While there's nothing in particular decisively found at this location, Gertie does let you know that there are a couple other locations that not nearly this large, just small collections, that maybe she could find something there. You know, she's kind of disappointed, really hoped that there was something to be found in this larger collection.
You kept on cutting out, so I want to make sure that I have everything. So he found an artifact that was a pristine necklace and gave it away to a young woman with dark hair. Was there anything more than that?
Yes. The sense of power contained within the arcane symbols on the necklace itself.
Cut out.
That he couldn't deduce the inherent magical effects. That it was something either he surmised that it was so mundane and so mild that it just didn't bear further investigating, that nothing could really be found about it.
Just thinking about that.
I know I'm not there.
Okay.
I know I'm not there,
Okay.
but can you repeat the name of this guy?
Kaz Hansen is the journal that Rye found. And there are a number of other artifacts that he found that he kept for further study, things that he found more useful, remnants of, he supposes, those who fought and lost their lives in the Shattering.
I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Quaesitor. So we've got two people who've had a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And also ask Gertie if does this have to remain here, or would it be possible to take this with us?
As long as it ultimately returns to its home. I see no reason why we couldn't borrow it. I trust you do know how to care for a book.
Yes. And I will say, just as flavor text, I was completely reorganizing the shelves as she was going through things.
That tracks.
I love that so much.
That tracks.
Does that name sound familiar to me when she says it? Kaz Hansen? I feel like I've heard that, but maybe I'm crazy. I can't find it in my notes.
Quaesitor has not heard it. Entirely new to Quaesitor. Jordan might have heard it before.
Okay.
Perfect. That's perfect.
I just need us to get to Celiax.
I know
Concerning.
about those things.
Yes, you do.
You just don't know that you do.
But I know that you know, and they know.
We'll add
You
it
know?
to the how to fight in history school.
Alright. So, as evening falls, y'all leave this sacred, protected room of knowledge, heading back through the streets. It's somewhat busier as the workday has ended. I'm going to go ahead and have both of y'all make a perception check.
Oh dear.
Being watched.
17.
17? Okay.
Perception 24.
Dang, son.
What was that?
24.
24. Okay. So, Rye, you notice that there is a larger presence of the Brotherhood out than you had seen in the morning. You would guess that there might have been another ship that has docked and dropped some more of them off, or perhaps that they're just spreading out more throughout the city. Quaesitor, you notice something similar, but there is something that catches your ear just out of nowhere. You can't pinpoint who said it. You can't really track what's going on. But you hear a comment someone makes about Master Reuven was being so upset. Young Master Rylock had missed a meeting.
What? What? I knew it! You...
How long ago did we all call this? We've been waiting all damn campaign. For those of you at home, y'all don't even know, my dudes. We've been waiting.
It would be
to happen.
Would be
really? Ah! You...
Feel
Oh!
Then
Words.
he's gonna come back and be like the man on the inside, and we're all gonna look like butts. Or maybe
What?
not.
Oh, you... words.
Mm-hmm.
We want
Good deal.
words later. Continue, please.
Okay. So you'll continue to make your way through. Gertie is heading towards the back towards the catacombs and safety there.
I'm gonna make just a comment to Quaesitor about specifically the increased presence of the Brotherhood and say, probably need to see if Sarai can notify the others. You're muted.
You're muted.
Hey, genius, you're muted.
What?
Okay.
Planning.
2 words.
You.
My computer's spatting. Computer is spazzing. Sorry, my cursor just like. Anyway, my question was, where is Sarai? I'm eating chips. I'm trying not to crunch on my microphone.
Jeez.
Did we just?
Do we?
She's at the library, isn't she?
I can't remember where we left her. I thought she was with.
We brought her back.
Didn't go with
I don't think she left the catacombs last we were aware.
Last you saw her was in the catacombs.
I'm okay with being wrong.
And we'll go ahead and we'll jump there. I mean, walk. But you enter the catacombs with Gertie. You get back to the more populous area, past the respectful spaces that are left for the dearly departed. And Sarai actually comes up to Gertie, and she's looking at the both of you and says, I don't suppose anybody has seen Norman lately.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, it's not unlike him to get lost and just disappear for a short period of time, but it's been nearly 2 days since anybody has seen him, and that's quite alarming. We've searched the entire catacombs. We can't find any sign of him.
Why do you
Didn't
let
happen to
this
see
fool roam?
Are we positive he's a fool and not someone infiltrating playing the fool?
This is an excellent point.
I trust less and less people, I'm finding.
I'm so
Norman
proud of
is-
you right now.
At this point, I'm just assuming Quaesitor is always eating. Just constantly yeah. Have a metabolism.
Oh, she's frozen again.
I haven't eaten all day. Sorry.
That's a much better
It
screenshot.
has been a dear friend
No.
for some time.
Was there anything relevant besides she's been a friend for some time?
Not really, no.
Great. Okay. He's been a friend for some time. Okay. You said he's been missing for how long?
Nearly 2 days since anybody had seen him.
Maybe 2 days.
Oh, that can't be good.
How is that the last time we saw him? Because we've only been here for like.
Oh, yeah, because he
Three-ish
left
or
after
something.
that.
He'd gotten lost in the catacombs. Y'all had found the fiends and rescued Venera the next morning, and That seems about the right time frame.
Have you heard from him? Like, have you tried contacting him? Do you know he's actually still alive?
I have tried. Unfortunately, nothing seems to get through.
That's concerning.
It is. There are magics, especially in some of the temples in Dragon's Heart, that will prevent sendings, the type of magic that I do, from completely connecting.
That's not relief, darling. That actually makes me more concerned.
I'm aware. I don't quite know what to do. He's wandered through the entirety of the catacombs. If I hesitate to say, if your suspicious minds are right, he knows all those who live here. It's quite dangerous.
You kill him.
Really imperative at this point in time that I think, Quaesitor, darling, you and I need to actually connect with Celiax. Because if Norman is in Dragonheart, Celiax is going to be the best person to look for him.
I suppose. You do have a point. I will continue to...
Should we make our
I'm
way
sorry,
to the cliffs?
did not mean to interrupt.
Should we make our way to the cliffs then?
It might be of use. I had hoped we would find more that we could deliver to them next time we saw them, but...
As did I.
I think yes. Let's go ahead and see if we can meet them.
Do we know anyone here in this who's in the city? Is everyone... Are our contacts in these few days Sarai, Harker, Gertie, and our own party?
I mean, Halberd met with Kahir. I don't know if that would be a useful connection.
Somewhere?
Well, and perhaps Kahir would be able to connect with some additional members of the Edge here.
Yes. Lauren, I'm going to cast Sending to Kahir.
Okay.
I am going to... I've never had to do this, so
New level, who dis?
Did I Warlock or Bard, though? Okay, so... Just gonna go for it. We have news of a new important player. Find out about Rylock if you can. Bring news of increases in Brotherhood. We are at the cliffs.
I can do one better. And bring their locations as well.
Okay.
Where at the cliffs is there a marker of your journey?
Well, yes, there is.
It's green.
Using another Sending. I feel your pain, Jay. It's annoying.
Right?
I can check off the spell slots. This was, I'm trying to remember the map. We're kind of on the northwest-ish section, correct? I mean, that's where the cliffs are, I guess, in general. Although they kind of surround us.
There are... So
It was...
Dragon Throne is set into the mountains. There's
Right.
like the whole western side of the city is built into that. The
Mhm.
cliffs that y'all had landed in, and the cliffs you're pretty sure Xantier, and not Xantier, or Solix had taken Xantier to, were on the southwestern side of the city.
So did we come into the Eleganza or into the Windward Rose?
You came in at Windward Row.
Okay. That's where it kind of the mountain slopes down and kind of meets down there at the western edge of the Windward Rose, and then we came up into, or no, we came to the Harbor District. Okay,
Yes.
cool. So I will say, come up the pass by the Windward Rose. There is a statue of me in half.
Right.
If we are not there, wait for us.
You would use that finger.
I don't.
It's only 23 words.
That's all.
In response, you get I shall make my way there. And nothing after that.
Who is this Rylock person and why do we care about him?
Did we determine if I have to say all that out loud or not?
Question that before.
I don't
Doesn't matter.
remember.
That's fine.
We'll say yes. As part of the verbal component of the spell.
I feel like we did say that. He's a former acquaintance who I have recently learned on our walk back here is in the city and apparently missed a meeting with Ruthen. I don't know exactly what his connection is, but because of his proximity to our group in the past, and his connection to our Sanctum previously, I would be curious to find out. He is a dragonborn. No, I suppose Solix was right. What color was he? I forgot.
White.
White.
He was white. Oh, it's like Reuben's son. Possibly
no.
Tiamat's grandson. I'm not really sure.
Oh,
I'm ruling nothing out at this point.
Yeah. These people of power do like to use their progeny for various things. So yes, should we, I guess, is there a safe way to leave the catacombs, or are we gonna have to go back out into the city? And I'll address that too. I guess Gertie, if Gertie or Sarai is standing there.
The simplest way would be to make
So the simplest way is to go out through the safest passage, which comes out somewhere in that mess of Doran's map.
I could possibly take Rye through, but if you wish to stay together through the city is probably your best bet.
Why? You cut out, Lauren. Why would Quaesitor be unable to take this path?
No boys allowed.
I would not lead him.
This was Sarai or Gertie that said this?
Sarai.
I'm sorry, why would you take me but you wouldn't take him?
I have faith in your discretion.
Time for
I do believe I am offended.
The timing on these pauses.
Just shortcoming.
One more again. One more again, Lord.
He has proven himself to be petty, and
I mean,
if you will have to forgive me if my trust is shortcoming in this particular matter. There are some
I think you broke
secrets
Brenda.
that are not mine to share, and if I cannot trust him, I will not risk them.
If it is a quicker route, I feel like time is of the essence in this matter. Would it be possible there was a previous situation we had gotten into where we essentially blinded, in this case, Sabiux, would doing something like that possibly make it where we could bring Quaesitor through this route? We've had a trying past couple of days, and so I understand the way he has been exhibiting himself may not have been to his benefit, but I don't see any reason why he would be a problem to take through a sensitive portion of your city. But if it is a concern that you have, I have a spell that I can use to prevent him from seeing things, but I would prefer an easier route out than...
I appreciate your diplomacy, Rai, but I am either trusted among friends and we will make our way with Sarai, or we can go through the city. I do not want to travel with someone who does not trust me.
I suppose that answers your question then, and you are well aware of the gates through the city.
All right. Well, was there anything else you wanted to do here, darling, or should we go ahead and go? I believe it is a bit of a trek.
I am ready as soon as you are.
Let us go.
All right, so you guys make your way through the gates of the city. Quaesitor, make a survival check to see how well you remember the place where you landed and navigating through the city there.
Okay. 15.
15? It takes you a little while to get there, but you do eventually find it. It is full on night once you have made your way to the base of the cliffs and started up them. We'll say probably 10 o'clock or so before you find the trail that leads
To the cave.
do you think Osh's Cliff was.
Close.
So we're back to my statue, or to where we think Osh's Cliff was?
You're back at the base of the cliff. You know, you have
Where'd you
found
make
the
the base?
path that leads
Okay.
up and winds around and has the cutbacks that you think will lead up to where you saw the overhang. And you know it's a fairly long path that you had sort of avoided when you had just decided to fly down. You'd guess if you go directly and don't have any mishaps, you'd probably get there by midnight or so.
Right. Should we press on?
I think that would probably be a benefit. Just, I don't know what their plans are for tomorrow.
I could take us straight up.
Do you mean the way we came down last time?
Yes.
Or, I think if you want to do that route, then I can give us a little bit of cover so people aren't actually seeing the fact that a giant bird is leaving the city.
Wasn't that how we got down?
Yes, but I think as much incognito would be of use to us. So I was just going to cast invisibility, darling.
Okay. It sounded like you were both saying it was a good idea and a bad idea, and I was confused. That'd be fine. Before we get back to the others, quickly, what do we do about Sarai? That didn't seem positive for the group dynamic. It caught me off guard. I've had no issue with Sarai.
I believe she's been a bit sensitive, which I'll admit myself, the interactions sometimes that are had with people who are not part of the group. I think sometimes in an effort to do the best for the most, we sometimes run over the people that we are present with. And so, well, I think you would have to discuss with her what the particular situation is that has led her to feel that you are petty. I would say in some ways your interactions with Haka did not show you in the best light.
I probably did come down too harshly on Haka. Although you would think that seeing our position and having just lost one of our closest allies, there would be some grace shown, and how that equates to lost trust, I can't say I understand, but perhaps that's an issue for another time.
Like I said, I think she would probably be one of the better people to discuss it with, because she can be the only one to really tell you what is of her mind, but we see aspects of character when we are under stress, and I think sometimes, especially with those who are a bit more mindful of that type of thing, such as you would expect with someone in a clerical order, sometimes seeing those stress reactions can lead you to making certain conclusions about individuals.
We'll deal with that when it becomes necessary, I suppose. I will polymorph Giant Eagle.
And I will cast invisibility on the both of us.
Okay.
After he polymorphs.
Good deal. So with the knowledgeable timing of one to not have the spell fade with the casting of another spell, and a little bit of fumbling as the invisible giant eagle tries to transport the invisible lovely Miss Rye. The venture is made, you take off, you soar, tracing your previous wing beats up to the top of the cliff where you had previously encountered Asha. And not terribly far away, you do find the encampment of your friends, along with Xantier, who is a little ways away, sort of keeping watch and listening in the night. What are y'all doing?
During that time, would it have been possible for Orberus to sit down for about an hour and take a short rest?
Yeah, you could have done that.
I do believe, Lauren, we also left off last time with a conversation about to be had between myself and Dorian and Halberd.
We can go ahead and pick up with that then. So this will happen slightly before Rye and Quaesitor arrive.
As Orberus and Xantier are walking away to find a tree, I believe, or something, attempt to find a big tree.
This is gonna be fun.
But as they're leaving, we'll look at the other two and say, figured I would let you two know since you're the ones here. Val's body, I made sure that he was taken care of with respect. I had him cremated and given the honors that he was due. What of the sword and the orb? Where are they at?
Hold on. Time out. Before we start asking questions about that type of where's the stuff at? All right, mate. Need to know first off, I love you. I love you a lot. But don't you dare ever stand by and watch your friend devastate himself again and then stand in my way when I try to come in and help.
No, I agree. You're right.
A needless situation that could have been avoided, and we never seek answers in death. You seek answers in your community and in life, and that is the way you deal with your struggles and your problems. And I know we didn't know exactly what we were up against. Oh, but that burns me, mate. We don't do that. That's not who we are. That's not what we do.
Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right. I trusted that if anybody would know what was going on, it would have been the Death Cleric. It was the wrong play. And you're right. It was the wrong play. It was a bad play. You're right.
I know he did it to himself. I know he did it to himself. I know I heard the Toll the Dead. I know the sounds. I know the signs. But man, we've been through so much. We're brothers in this crew now. We are all that I have left, and very much all that many of us have left at all. And Doran, I don't know. Maybe I'm just pissed off and mad and angry and not knowing what to do, but from this point forward, like, that is not how we deal with things.
You're right.
Now, if we'd stopped and had a conversation, we would have made a different choice. We can't just walk ass backwards into a decision without a conversation first. I mean, we could all hear you out front, telling the lies you had to tell. I know it was necessary lie.
Can't hear you, Garrett.
I'm speaking too low. I don't remember what I said exactly. Take two. Flapper thingy. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
That you had heard the words that Soyax, the lies that Soyax had been having to tell.
Thank you. I legitimately, like, it all fell out the other side. You standing out front telling the lies you had to tell, I'm sure it wasn't easy, but we shouldn't have to go through shite like that again. We need to be able to talk and figure things out before we go ass backwards into half-baked plans.
I agree.
All right. The rest of us have been busy grieving part of the day, so I don't want to drug it back up and then throw it at you. I'm sure you're not feeling too great about it. And I found out bad news for myself and for Quaesitor too, so things are looking up, looking down.
Why you ask where the items are? and make sure that no one else that we're close to will fall under similar things.
The items have been given to the library as far as I know. We used the orb and the wish spell to make a deal that'll help us recover the books for our sanctum. In exchange for those two. The sword, I believe, is under their keeping, and it is safe.
It's off the world. That's what matters.
We need to reach out and contact people because I feel a storm is coming and we might not be able to stem that tide.
Allies, we need equipment. We're about to fight a war. There's a lot we need. If we're going to do this more sneaky way, we'll still need resources to be sure, but we need to also talk about how we plan to go about doing whatever it is we're going to do.
It's a good point. What are we doing?
I think first off, we're going to start a fire and make some supper. Because it has been a long enough day already. And I think that we are going to figure out how to get in contact with our two friends down below. And hopefully, as they stuck around to gain insight, we will glean from them potentially what will be entailed with some of the histories and maybe where the ceremony is taking place and why it's taking place when it is. And we can use that to our advantage. And so I would say at first, food is good. And coming up with a plan, I know Master Dwarf, a favorite craftsman, you've had many ideas, and I think that finding you a place to work would be potentially the most excellent idea we could have as far as gearing ourselves out.
Aye.
We might have some allies yet, and we will need to contact them, and I can reach out to many of them if I might be able to. I need to figure out how to get in contact, but
I have a few thoughts on that too, but I don't know if you like the suggestion I have. We'll wait for everyone.
and we also found out some rather distressing news about both Quaesitor and Doran. I'm not entirely sure if they go down in a fight, there's a bringing them back. And so we need to see if there's a way we can try to address that if possible. If not, we will have to prioritize that in the way we address the situation.
Prioritize keeping them up.
At this moment, let's get some wood for a fire, make sure we're inconspicuous. I'll go find some game if possible.
We can put a fire inside the cave itself that's ventilated. We've done that before.
Very much so.
This is the cave where Asha was, right?
Yep.
Is she potentially nearby? Conversation. It's always better with more friends around.
I'm going to... I'm sorry.
The only people on my screen right now are Jay and Wes. So someone's making faces there.
I'm going to stand up and grab my bow, walk past Celix, put my arm on his shoulder, very, very reassuring as much as I can, and I know it wasn't your fault. I know. And you had a terrible burden to bear as well. We're going to make this through. We'll make it right if we can. I'm going to go off and see if I can find some game to cook up.
I'll get the fire going. It's my specialty.
Orberus.
On my
Oh, yeah.
person.
Sorry, what was that, Doran?
I was saying I have 3 axes on my person, so I'm gonna start chopping up firewood.
I love it.
2 hand axes and the storm
Okay.
axe. So
He chops the car when it bursts into flames. Like, wait, not yet.
Oh yeah, it's totally Roronoa Zoro from One Piece. I got an axe here and an axe in each hand.
I have 4 different axes in the bag of holding.
Yeah,
Dude,
he does.
really?
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Orbrus, you had gone off with Xantier. Was there anything in particular you wanted to accomplish?
I think we established last time that there weren't any big enough trees that could be used that I could use for teleportation or transport via plants.
That's right.
Then I'm basically just going to walk around with our little fox friend, just kind of get a lay of the area since Orbrus has never been here before. Point out to Xantier like different things that you see in the mountain for tracking critters. Maybe point out some those look like bullet traps, but and then once I feel like we've made enough laps around, I'll bring Xantier back and just take an hour to just rest, relax, and maybe see if I can just hang out with nature for a little bit.
Okay. While you are taking that rest and Silix and Dorn are handling the fire, Halberd, go ahead and make me a survival check, please.
Modified 20.
Easily. You have your pick of the wildlife. You find a couple of small deer, a number of rabbits, some squirrels. Excuse me. There are a couple of waterfowl that you see flying down towards the coastal city itself. What would you like for dinner?
Let's go with venison. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah, without a problem. You managed to bring down one of the small deer, take that back, dress the carcass, and start roasting it. And it smells delicious. Like, it is very, very tasty as it cooks. So we'll jump ahead a little bit to later in the evening. Most of y'all have eaten, but Quaesitor and Rye are partially guided into this encampment by the smell of this roasting venison. The remnants of it hanging on the air.
Would ask if I see them fly in.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So
Do they just
Very
appear, or?
That depends on when Rye cancels.
I can't say Quaesitor.
I cancels Quaesitor's life.
The end.
Yes, I'm gonna argue for him for Sarai and then kill him on the way up here. That sounds like a good plan.
And I can just have a new character that no one hates.
I'll go ahead and cancel it like as whenever we get close enough that I can tell that we're coming up on the actual party. So.
Okay.
But I also assume I'm not terribly stealthy, so they can probably hear me coming.
Quaesitor, how long do you stay a bird?
Until we land?
Okay, so you drop the polymorph pretty much right after you land?
I'll land, like, ride dismount, and then drop the polymorph.
Land. Full ride.
Okay.
I was, could also just fly up and screech right behind him invisibly. But we won't do that.
Probably a good idea.
Albert just shoots.
We're eating bird, boys!
As soon as I drop hit points, I'm back to Quaesitor.
We're eating bird, boys!
Hawk Bandit, y'all.
Fox on the Hawk. Yeah.
Fox Bandit.
Fox on it. Anyways,
So the
dismount.
group reunites. It is decently late in the evening. We'll say between 10:15.
Yeah, that sounds about
That
right.
sounds decently late. Yeah.
Coming straight to you guys looking for food. So
Ooh,
And they're-
we ate it all.
So it is fully dark out, and staying up.
go ahead.
You cutting out.
You're back now.
Okay.
Okay. I was just saying Xantier is tired, but trying very hard not to show it, and he's absolutely trying to stay up and patrol the perimeter and keep watch, and he'll sit down and start trying to take care of his gear, and he'll give a big yawn, and then he'll stand up and stretch and go do something, and then come back and try and take care of more of his gear and yawn again, and he'll get himself up to go do something else. And
I'm gonna walk over to him, put an edge on the blade, polish it up, put it away, and go to bed, man. You're doing good. We've got the watch now.
I'll just sort of look at him and nod in agreement to what was said.
he sort of gives a big sigh, and then he nods. Yes, sir. And then just starts taking his whetstone on the blade and putting the edge back on and getting ready for the evening. And a short time later, after greetings are said and Ryan and Quaesitor are seated back down, he is off to bed.
Go back and tend the fire. I'm trying to actually smoke some of the venison, make it traveling jerky instead of just wasted meat. Never waste what you hunt.
Mm.
Going over inventory as we sort of prepare for separation. I don't know where I will be. I know I've given you part of the party funds.
Don't you give us one?
No,
Yeah.
you the party funds.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
you should have like additional 3,000 gold or something.
I gave Doran these.
That's it. Yep.
And then also looking at how, especially now that you guys have arrived, how are we all doing health potion wise?
Hold on. Let me look at my inventory.
Including you, Wolverine.
Oh, I have plenty of health potions, and I can make plenty more if we need them.
Good to know.
I've got 2.
You need any more?
If you have one to spare, I'll add it in just to be safe.
Yeah, here, have another one.
Inventory.
I also have things of vowels that could be distributed. I have a greater and a regular healing potion of my own, and there was one in Val's bag, a regular.
Hang on to those, you might need them.
I only have one, so.
Here, one regular,
Mhm.
have a greater and a regular.
I know about potions, but
Doran, what's your potion at?
I'm not sure if this is accurate or not. That's the problem.
Probably is, you don't drink them.
I apparently have 5 common, and I have the fire breath potion still. That doesn't sound right.
You used the fire breath.
You never drink health potions.
Yeah, you rarely do.
Unless fellow players are possessed, I usually don't need to.
I'm sorry.
That's because somebody wouldn't let you get close enough to be a fighter.
Also,
I know, right?
Orberus,
Mm-hmm.
you're knowledgeable of plants and various mushrooms and things of that nature, yes?
Mm-hmm.
These have been in the bag. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Per my knowledge, these are wild magic mushrooms.
Oh no.
Here's 2 of them. I don't know what you're going to do with them. Maybe you can use them, maybe you can't. I don't know. But there. Welcome to the 11th hour. Have fun.
Are those from the bag of beans?
No,
No, these are the wild magic mushrooms he got from the.
I bought these
Or
from
no,
some
you bought them,
shady
yeah.
dude
That's right.
forever ago, and just put them in the bag. I never knew what I was going to do with them. Now I have a crazy druid.
Do I know what these are, or?
Oh yeah, you recognize them.
They're out of the bag. You can.
Well, perhaps we can continue to distribute items later, I think. Because when I had a vaguely productive search, we didn't find a lot of information, but hopefully we can continue on to some other repositories with Gertie to find a little bit.
I found some astrological writings and diagrams that I feel like are going to be very promising.
Okay.
Yeah, I found something about a necklace that seems important, but I'm not sure why yet.
Necklace, do you know where the necklace is?
All that the journal states is it was given to a young woman about 200 years ago. So that's the most
400
information.
years ago.
Oh, 400
just to
years
clarify.
ago.
200 years after the Shattering.
So that's about the information I have.
Was it written by or given to her by that individual?
Kaz Hansen? Yes.
Yes.
I know who that is.
Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the group, DM?
Does that name mean anything to
Well, okay, go ahead.
Solix, make a history check.
This is going to go great. 6.
6. Something about it rings familiar, but you can't place it. You may have heard it before.
So, Celiex, what have you been up to, darling?
Oh, what have I been up to? That's a good question. Xantier's here, obviously. We may need to figure out how to get him out of the city. I'm not sure. What else have I been doing? Oh,
If I can bring him back down to the catacombs, I'm likely able to bring him to Venera. So,
honestly, I think that would be good for him. I'm not sure he's going to want to leave, but I think that would be best. We just need to come up with a good, viable story as to why he's not with me when I come back down this. He's been kind of put in my charge. I'm supposed to train him up until the Feast of Strength. By the way, it's all supposed to go down at the Feast of Strength. Also, public executions via myself are supposed to happen at the Feast of Strength for heretics, i.e. Sarai. Yes, Orberist.
What exactly is a Feast of Strength?
The Feast of Strength is a thing that happens, and I inform him on what exactly the Feast of Strength is.
Which, for those of us who don't remember, is a what, DM?
It's a yearly festival that celebrates the graduation of squires into knighthood. It's when they take their oaths and join a specific knightly order. It's a big celebration. It's a big festival. This year it's larger than normal because it's also celebrating the union of the Brotherhood and welcoming them into the Church of Bahamut as their own sort of clerical sect.
So wouldn't it be... Thank you. Wouldn't it be rather easy to have the boy just have run away in the night?
Possible.
I mean,
we can come up with a story. That's not a difficult thing.
Albert?
Quaesitor, you mentioned some astrological findings.
Yes.
Do those astrological findings and what you saw regarding patterns and etc. coincide with the Feast of Strength at all? I know that there are different sects and groups and people who go crazy at full moons and all that crap, so I don't know if there might be something, if there is something supernatural that coincides with it. I know our old friend drew his strength from a full moon, or more strength from a full moon. I wonder if ceremonies involved in all that is taking place might actually coincide with a certain realm of power and a night of...
Lauren, I'm assuming in that investigation check that I would have been looking specifically for that.
You didn't find any particular tie to the lunar cycle.
Right. Okay. I'm I'm just trying to play off of my 10, and I think that I looked into that event in particular, and it seemed like there could be something there, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
All right.
DM, in any of the visions that Orberus or the group had, did anybody mention patterns or rituals in any of those visions?
Not rituals of the type that your people are most familiar with. Because there's not a whole lot of arcane knowledge within your people. It's very much tied to the natural flow of the world and patterns of seasons and reading the bones and things of that nature. The more structured arcane rituals are not something you would necessarily be familiar with.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was anything like, yes, there's a ritual. We don't know what it does, but there is a ritual or in any of those visions. So,
not specifically. Most of your visions have focused on the individuals around you and trying to communicate something about that.
So starting. Kahia popped back up, and she mentioned that there were some rituals going on. Is there anything you're aware of? Any information you can gather, perhaps?
Rituals right now. I mean, as far as I know, the only rituals that would be happening would be the various squires getting ready to become knights. Nothing.
Well, and Halberd, correct me if I'm missing anything, but he said something about there were things going on equidistant from each other, which makes me think something's being set up. And if this is something that's being put on by Dragonheart, perhaps there is information you can gather about what they're actually setting up for the Feast of Strengths. Do you have someone potentially you might be able to discuss that with?
I might be able to find out some information, but was this... Did you hear make it seem like the church was setting up a ritual, or is this the Brotherhood via subterfuge setting up an underground ritual?
That is
I don't know if either can be discounted.
I'm not sure. I don't think it was specific. Lauren, because I've been part of way too many rituals in this game based on resurrection, bringing people back, breaking curses, and all that junk that I had to go through that mentally scarred me for life. Just thinking about the pattern and how close it was, were there any of the rituals that I had the privilege of participating in that all had equidistance sections and things like that? Just curious.
In the rituals that you've participated in, there have been several where you were told to stand on specific places, where placement seemed to play a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Make an Arcana check for me, Halberd.
Yeah. What's 15? That's better than I expected.
That's good. One of the things I will say is you have also noticed as a trend through these rituals is each of them have contained some element of sacrifice. Sometimes a sacrifice of energy, sometimes a material sacrifice, an opening of the heart in a sort of sacrificial way. Something about that also seems to play a key element in the rituals you have seen.
So if we are dealing with a ritual, rituals involve sacrifices. Are we is our plan here just to find and stop the ritual? Is that what we're doing?
Can that include killing Reuben?
I would love to kill him if we
I
can
am totally
accomplish
down
that.
to this.
I think disrupting would be no matter what we end up finally doing, I think disrupting would be a good route to go.
Mhm.
And I can't imagine that if we had wanted to disrupt their ritual, that they would just leave it without seeking to confront those who may have disrupted said ritual.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
And is it simple enough that we can simply stop 1 point, or do we have to hit all 5 points?
With that question, I want Ryan and Quaesitor to both make Arcana checks.
I did a question.
That's good.
Hear it.
Roll
That's
dice.
good.
I don't get to roll dice.
Are you proficient in Arcana, Doran?
No, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I'm not. Let's look at stats anyway. Arcane.
15 to me.
28.
I have advantage on Arcana checks.
Is that when you have a rune activated, or is that a passive ability from your rune?
I don't know. I'm gonna read about how I can do things. Probably
Okay.
rude.
So I got a 28, Lauren.
Okay, so Rye definitely is going to have an idea of the answer to his question. I'm going to see if Doran has any sense of this.
Storm Rune gives me advantage on Arcane checks.
Okay, so rather than rolling it at disadvantage, the advantage will let you have it out as a straight roll, so you can go ahead and make an Arcana check also.
Ooh, I'll do that. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I picked this one, so let's go. That's a 11.
11. All right, and what was Quaesitor's?
15.
15 and 28. Nice. 28 for Rye. Okay. Doran and Quaesitor, y'all aren't really quite making the connections. Rye, you have a pretty solid answer. For this large scale type ritual, these things haven't been conducted in ages and ages and ages. They're dangerous, and the sacrificial element is a strong play, especially in ones that are set up on this scale, with elements of this ritual taking place at multiple points. You know that frequently, in an effort to sort of distribute the sacrificial element, they'll take place over various times also, and each sort of breaking it up into smaller scale rituals. And each of those rituals, the smaller ones, the subsets, will have their own sacrificial element. If those are disrupted, then it's not a necessary fail on the large scale one, but it makes the sacrificial element much more dramatic and important and much more likely to be fatal for a larger percentage of the participants than if the smaller ones leading up to it had succeeded.
When we
Um,
have any idea how distributed throughout the city, how much of the city would have coverage, quote unquote, for this? Do we have any idea of that? Do we know?
You might have a better idea once you get a sense of where exactly the Brotherhood sort of center points are.
Because I'm thinking about other cities that we found that were displaced and such.
So I will explain this to everyone. So I do believe, if intuition leads me correctly, I would think in some ways rescuing Venera, we might have put a kink in their plans, although it would be useful to figure out where here in the city things are happening. So, Celix, do you have someone you feel you can discuss this with?
I might be able to ask around. Everybody is under suspicion, but I have a way of finagling questions that might disrupt prying eyes. My concern, my thought is, at the feast, I was supposed to do a ritual execution of heretics. I wonder if that is supposed to be granted. At least one of those heretics, Shirai, has escaped. My question and concern is that execution part of the sacrifice? If this is actually revolving around Tiamat, executing actual followers of Bahamut could be detrimental or a crucial part of, if I'm thinking an evil ritual, sacrificing good people seems like a part of it.
Or at least a final nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Well, and now, granted, I'm not the brightest torch in the forest, but thank you, Garrett.
I don't know why that was so funny to me.
It seems like there's two aspects to this: freeing any of the heretics, as you call them, puts a major kink in their plans.
Yes, it is.
The other aspect is, it seems like this Brotherhood company seems to be meandering and growing. How hard would it be to trail some of them, see if they're setting up places where the rich, if it's spread throughout the city, seeing if there's maybe places where they bed down, where they set up.
That is an excellent idea. That is an excellent idea. Are there aides, perhaps, that are working with them from Dragonheart specifically?
Not that I don't know of any direct liaisons that are working for them. I know the Archpriest has an aide that has been assigned to me, but I don't know of anybody that has been assigned specifically to the Brotherhood.
What?
Point of clarification for Solyax. You do recall that one of Aura's duties in service to Desmond was specifically to house the Brotherhood.
Right. There is this person who is housing them, but I don't know if her duties are going beyond simply finding lodging, or if...
She might be a good person to follow anyway. What can you describe her for us?
She looks like this.
Okay. As soon as you start describing her and you bring up the necklace she's wearing, light goes off in Ryan's head, and I want to pull out the book and show that to Solyax. Did it look like this?
One, she was wearing a necklace.
Solyax, the resemblance is clear as day. You would swear it was the same person. In a 400-year-old journal. That's weird.
Okay. Oh, I'm confused at this point. Hold on.
I'm confused, and I'm a player, not a
Okay. So this which journal? Who are you showing me?
She's pulling up the drawing of the girl that Kaz Hansen gave the necklace to.
Does it have a drawing of
Right.
the girl?
Okay. So who is this girl? Who is Kaz Hansen? Who is?
He was an archaeologist some 400 years ago looking into the shattering.
Okay.
And he said he gave this to you.
Why?
It was not of great power, he stated, although I have concerns.
Who's the girl? Who's the girl?
He didn't explain or describe her more than that, just that he gave it to her. But I have concerns about this because, as I recall, whenever we were talking with Marta about the headband, which, Quaesitor, that's a conversation you need to be a part of when we get into it. But when we were talking to Marta about Doran's headband, one of the things I asked her was if the previous owners could possess Doran, and Marta stated that there is neither necromantic or conjuration magic associated with the headband. this has conjuration magic associated with it. So I don't know if this person is currently possessed or if she's going to be, but she is somehow key to this whole situation.
Okay, so key meaning what do
Hold
we?
on. I'm going to interject. Like,
Yeah, what's up?
all right, so we have a 400-year-old lady who has this necklace, which is not very powerful, which I highly suspect is highly questionable. Also, they know you're the Arbiter, and we're just talking very blatantly right now. Is there a way that they could potentially find you the way that other people have found, say we found the Underlord's scrying and things like that, and is there a way to protect against that? And on top of that, I don't know, I just feel the need to go be within earshot, but also stand guard right now. So is there a way to protect some of this dialogue from unwanted ears?
I can at least give you sight to see if there's any sort of sensors around, and I'll give you the monocle again.
And I'll look for sensors and anything like that up here, but I'm also concerned about people eavesdropping via magical doobly-doobly abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Magic bubble dome. You need the cone of silence.
I appreciate that reference.
You don't see any particular magic sensors at the moment. Nothing associated with the scrying spell. I have a question for Solyax, though.
Ooh.
Are you wearing your heavy armor or your leather armor?
I'm always wearing my heavy armor. The leather armor is for sleeping when I'm scared.
Okay.
Oh.
Did you bring it with you?
It's in the bag.
Oh, no.
It's in the bag of holding. So technically, it's in a separate plane.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see anything particularly alarming.
I forgot my axe. I had to go get it.
I'm going to go just double check and have a look around while y'all continue the conversation.
While you doing that, do you mind if I send some help with you?
Any help is always desired.
I'll cast conjure animals, and I will at 3rd level.
I will actually also cast enhance ability, Owl's Wisdom, which gives him advantage on wisdom checks, meaning
Ooh.
like perception.
What CR level are you choosing, Orbrus?
I'm gonna do 8 creatures of CR 1/4.
Okay, I need you to roll a d20 for me, please.
Oh, dear.
I
Would
don't
you?
know how she did this with that deer.
It's like a randomizer thing.
Oh. No, I didn't remember that. I thought I got to choose.
No, you get to pick the CR.
Oh, 3.
3.
This is great.
Hang on the rats
I'm
more.
attacked by a group of hornets.
Fish, it's fish.
No. 8 boars appear.
Okay.
These massive hog-like creatures.
Are they good for eatings? Precious.
They disappear when you kill them, so I'm gonna go
That
with
would be
no.
That would be a solid no.
I will just tell them to sniff around and squeal loudly if they see any intruders, which are any people not in this or creatures not within this room.
Room? Are y'all in the cave or are y'all outside the cave?
Yeah, we were in the cave.
We were in the cave.
Okay, so Xantier's in his bedroll just a few feet away. Just making sure y'all are aware of this. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I'll summon them outside, and I'll tell them to basically let us know if they see, smell, or hear or smell anything that is not us.
Okay, and how long do they last? For an hour. as
Yeah.
concentration? Okay, good deal.
I was close.
Good deal. So you send them to start patrolling the outside a little bit.
Cool.
Sorry, did someone else need to finish what they're doing?
I was just going to ask Quaesitor as I walked out if he might be able to, if Tiny Hut and the ability for lodging that he had done in the past was a possibility, and if that shielded from unfriendly eyes and ears.
Eyes,
So, Caleb,
yes. Not so much from the ears.
That's the magic bubble dome, right?
Yep.
I'm going to head on out then and take a look around, especially on the path up in the area around, and using Rye's monocle, which I totally pictures Colonel Clink from Hogan's Heroes right now.
I appreciate that reference. My
Nice.
parents watch that all the time.
Just for peace of mind, does the drawing that we have in the journal look at all like the images that we have of Tiamat, Calarin,
Mm-hmm.
Dracinia, or
Any of the other drawings we have
Kramer.
are females.
like
Is this drawing actually got a picture of this woman,
Mhm.
or is it just? I thought it was just a necklace. Okay.
Does she look like Aura?
What, the drawing?
Yeah.
Yes, you would swear it is a drawing of Aura.
So it's not
good.
just the necklace, it's actually Aura.
Yeah, it's not just the necklace. Like, it's definitely the necklace that Aura wears, but it's also the drawing is of Aura.
It's the body that she wears too, huh?
So does Aura look like any of the others?
There's a passing resemblance.
Kind of went over this
Especially to Dracinia.
Yep.
Something about the set of the features, the bridge of the nose, the set of the cheekbones, the angle of the jaw.
This is fine.
Very similar to Dracinia.
It's a bad aura, y'all.
Speaking of Dracinia, I don't.
Elements also
elements also.
similar to Kramer. Very, very reminiscent.
Awesome. I don't.
I have a feeling, and I don't like this.
This is probably not a good thing for me to have on me, just in case of whatever. So I'm gonna pull out the tower map from Dracinia's tower that I have in the bag of holding. And I'm just gonna hand it to you guys and be like, I probably shouldn't have this on me, in case of whatever. It is, if I remember correctly, it's actually a fairly detailed map of her tower.
Mhm.
So give that to whoever needs it, but I should not have this anymore.
I'll throw it in the trunk unless someone objects.
Oh, I
Okay.
forgot about
I do let y'all know I have a bag of holding, so if we ever need
Yay.
more storage space.
Right.
Tower map from Dracinia's tower. I don't want that anymore.
I do. Can I have it? Ryan's got it.
Right.
Anything else y'all want to do or go over before we get into the night?
I want a couple of Val's items, personally.
Yeah, do we want to?
Yeah, let's go ahead and split up the stuff real quick.
Did I see anything, including a sneaky little edge member trying to come up to meet us while I was out watching?
Make a perception check.
At advantage.
It's 30.
30.
Dang.
In your wandering, some distance away, you do see a shape moving, and you're alarmed for a moment. Then you're pretty sure you recognize the silhouette of Kahir making their way in your direction.
My bad.
All right. While we divvy up the remains of Val's goods, we're going to take a very, very quick break and be right back.
Break time.
1 and a
That's when
quarter.
I found out that Big Lug was a terrible name for a chocolate bar.
Wow.
Oh, back.
Okay. So, Val's goods have been distributed for the most part to everybody's satisfaction? Yes?
Yep.
One question on that. So he
Yes.
had a bag of potions and scrolls from Gertie that I don't believe he ever found out what was in there that I have now.
He found out what was in there. Let me pull up my notes of what that was real quick.
According to a man named Jay in the ethereal plane, he never received a spell of what was.
Okay.
All of this.
You gave back the healing potions, or did you keep the healing potions?
No, I gave her. I left her the healing potions to restock.
Okay, so you have a potion of Dragon's Bane, a scroll of Guards and Wards, a scroll of Telepathic Bond, and a scroll of Steel Wind Strike.
I got Potion of Dragon's Bane, which my phone typed out Dragon's Babe.
I mean, that's a whole different potion right there.
Actually, it said Position of Dragon's Babe.
Oh man,
Oh God!
this is a whole different campaign, yo.
Swipe to text is dangerous.
Leave it to the bard.
Potion of Dragon's Bane. Steel Wind Strike.
A scroll of Steel Wind Strike. Scroll of Telepathic Bond.
Telepathic Bond.
And a scroll of Guards and Wards.
Scroll of Wards.
Sounds cool.
You said that was a scroll of Steel Wind Strike, right? So, Telepathic Bond. Was Telepathic Bond a scroll or a potion?
Scroll.
Okay, so everything was a scroll except for the Dragon's Bane.
Yes. And then did you keep track of the items also that were in with that?
Yes, those have been.
Yes, those have been distributed.
Okay, good deal.
The items from Gertie?
Yeah,
Including the Periapt of Leadership and Influence?
Yes.
It was
And then
just the Periapt and the gauntlets, right?
Yep.
I believe that's what y'all took.
That's all that was on my list.
Okay, good deal then.
Okay. So cool. Everything has been distributed. I don't know. Edit notes. Okay, cool. As we hand out the last things, also, in addition to random necklaces and 400-year-old women, Rylock is in town working with the Brotherhood.
I'm sorry. You said Rylock is in town working. I should have killed him when I saw him. I wanted to. I saw him and I said I should kill him. And then should have killed him.
I would say we were right to stop you, but in retrospect, I wish we had failed. He apparently missed a meeting with Reuven.
Yep, should have killed him.
So I'm assuming he's high up, and being a white dragonborn seems...
Could have done it too. He was right there. He made me big. Could have killed him.
It's in the past, and we can't change that now. We can only deal with what's before us.
Well, and I hate to burst your bubble, but we are assuming right now.
What is it?
No. I'm trying to say benefit of the doubt, even though the right is right there. Maybe he's double agent. The Sanctum didn't. The Sanctum does choose people to be there. It did choose him, so maybe it's not people.
Doesn't mean they can't go dark, as we have learned with our having our friend from the library.
I would also argue, depending on
If we go out looking for him to kill him, that might end us in more hot water.
so playing devil's advocate on both sides, yes, just because someone has connections to evil entity does not necessarily make them one themselves. But I will also say, depending on the age of the sanctum, if it is quite young, sometimes they're just looking for somebody and they don't necessarily have the ability to do a background check that might be necessary. So
pardon my intrusion as the newcomer here, but Sancta what now?
It'll just give you a headache, mate. Wait till we're on the other side.
Wilds within wilds.
Yep, it's not worth it, man.
Protect your innocence while you have it. Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Worth it, man. Don't ask. They got me.
I mean, all right. I hate to go into something
I'm
half
sure
intelligence.
it'll
but
take more than an evening to explain to you.
Could take a lifetime.
I'm sure over the course we have some time before the Feast of Strengths. I'm sure there will be time for them to scratch the mere surface of the information that we barely know.
But do you really want it?
Wave tops. We can give them wave tops.
I think
Darling, I want you to picture islands. Sanctums have boats that can go between islands. That's all we're talking about. This planet is an island.
That's a really good
that actually was really good. I was like, well, dang. All right. All right. Well,
Rest of us are like on the quantum realm of like trying to like piece it all together with like the whole the police wall with all the strings and shit. She's just like dum-dums.
We are 100% the crazy man with the wall and the string doing this.
Right here! It's here, I know it! It was Rylock the whole time!
I believe we will have company shortly. I believe it's Kahir coming up.
The minute I see her, I'm running Divine Sense. The second. It's your Kahir Divine Sense.
This is the worst, and it's the weekend too. This has been the weirdest, longest weekend of my life.
All right, you,
Unintentional pun. You're here.
you don't find anything particularly alarming when you sense Kahir.
Okay.
No fiendish
Okay, the queen.
influence.
We're clean, everybody.
I'll take first watch.
Alright.
I mean,
All right.
tell Quaesitor about all of our bad news.
oh,
Is
yeah.
Yeah!
Oh, yes. Fill him in,
Yes.
Garrett. That's more personal for you.
Yeah, I don't know any of that yet.
Yeah, he was with Rye all day too.
We're doing research.
I know. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying, like, it's like not, you know.
Some things are best heard from friends.
Yeah. So whenever it's my turn to watch, I'll tell him that, and we'll try to talk it through. Are we betting down? Is that happening? Because it was said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are we taking watches? I assume the dome is up. I'll mark that off.
I'll also cast Alarm as a ritual spell across the entrance.
Okay.
I'll take first watch and talk with Kahir when she shows up.
I imagine Doran and Quaesitor are going to take a watch.
Sure.
So they can discuss their shortcomings. I'll take last watch with whoever else.
I'll take it with you.
Okay.
Then I guess I'm up with Albert.
Or you could sleep the entire night through. Like, either one. But I do not mind Rice company at all.
All right.
All right. You'll start bedding down. About an hour later, Kahir finally arrives. So the boars would have gone by this time.
Yeah, they only last for an hour.
With the time it took Kahir to finish climbing the path and make their way, right? So the boars would have returned to the
They just go poop.
to where they came from. Yeah, essentially. So they come up to Halberd where he's keeping watch outside of the cave.
Mm-hmm.
And they give a brief bow. Very, very short and shallow bow, but a modicum of respect. The bard had requested information. I have the locations, the main locations, where the Brotherhood are. currently boarding their members. Is this of interest to your group?
As has become the case, your services have been very invaluable. Yes, I do think that is very interesting to us. I'm going to offer her some of the venison that we have left in food.
Yeah, they reach out and take it. Start nomming on it. They compliment you. It's actually quite tasty.
Thanks.
11 herbs and spices.
Do you know, is there any presence or form of the edge in Dragon Throne?
Minimal. Present, but not nearly to the strength of Grimhold or even Whitebrand.
How strong do you believe the Brotherhood's numbers are? And have you heard any word on the leaders that are present?
There seem to be 3 significant, a number of others of some power who travel with them. You're familiar, I believe, with one Reuven?
Yes, I cannot wait to see the fellow again.
I know, from everything I've heard, you had it right the first time. He hates your Arbiter with a passion.
Oh, I saw him, dude.
I mean,
The feeling is mutual.
the more he hates my Arbiter, the more I actually appreciate my Arbiter, so
To each their own.
shortcomings. What were the other 2 then? Reuven,
Crenshaw and Marina.
Crenshaw, and Marina. In your findings, being on the boat and present, were there any prisoners mentioned or talked about, or a place where prisoners might be held of any significance?
Sorry, I missed that. Your
I
findings.
With the time on the boat, were there any conversations, or is there any knowledge of prisoners or where prisoners might be held of any significance?
It's odd you ask. They did bring a number of individuals with them. They called them infirm. They truly did seem helpless in some ways.
I'm going to describe Tyrek and see if he was amongst any seen or known.
Yes. As a matter of fact. The sad condition the fellow was in.
You know where they took them?
With their caretakers, I assume. There were several that were devoted to the care of each of these infirm individuals.
Can you provide descriptions?
I can. The one you mentioned. Another younger individual. They said he was once a priest who had fallen on difficult times, and they were bringing him to Dragenthrone to aid in his healing. A young half-elf man. I'm trying to recall the name. Elias, something to that effect.
I know that name,
Oh!
but I'll have to go look through my notes, and I don't want to take time to do that right now. So keep on going.
That's my friend.
You don't have any friends.
That's one of the people I've mentioned you should talk to Sarai about.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
My old buddies.
Oh, the friends. This is getting better and better. Prison break.
So
That's exactly what I mean.
Oh no.
Yep, I agree. On a good note, that means he's still at least like
Alive.
that they called infirm, that are 5 main locations that the Brotherhood is being boarded at, 5 inns within the city.
this location.
Just had the page open. Where did it go?
That's this one.
There we go. Okay. Do y'all have a pen, or should I text these to you?
I have a pencil.
Text would also
Okay,
be really
pencil.
appreciated.
Yeah, a really good
Both
idea.
would be great.
I'll go ahead and I'll send this to you after session also. So within the Harbor District, they are being boarded at an inn called the Spotless Oar. Within the Bastion Ward, they're at the Wing and Claw Heritage District. They're at a combined inn and eatery called the Regular Old Pie. That is old with OLDE.
Wild.
Within the Eleganza.
Keep going.
Don't worry about it.
Within the Eleganza, they're boarded at the Celestial Squirrel.
I hate you so much
And in
right
the-
now.
You're welcome. Within the Shallows,
Mm-hmm.
they're at the 5 Fiends.
How would you live in Dragon Throne and name your place that?
So Lauren, it was Harbor, Bastion, what, Eleganza, and then Shallows?
It's 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 on the map.
Okay, well,
Well done.
that'll work.
It's a star, everybody.
Really?
That'll work.
What I drew like 3 weeks ago.
I
Yeah.
was confused now. Because Celestial Squirrel was too funny.
It was great.
Yeah. I'm hats off to you, but you're a jerk.
And Lauren, just because I don't know if it's something that you discussed whenever you froze, but I was also looking for descriptions of whoever the handlers were for the infirm.
And then
Okay. They are generally like they're older or members of the Brotherhood who are more gifted in the healing arts, per se. All human, all male. One.
My favorite glitch is when like her voice comes back in and it's sped up. That's the best one.
3 brunette. Kahir didn't get.
Technology.
That.
I just heard Garrett say technology. What was before that?
Just text it to us. Just text everything to us.
Oh, Lauren. It's okay. We love you. It's just technology's being doo-doo, and it's frustrating yet funny.
Okay.
You know, when you asked, hey, what do you want to do with your downtime? That was a great question.
Yeah.
Then it's funny how that changed in like 3 minutes.
America's 2.5.
Speaking of downtime, that is what Kahir communicates over the watch that you have. Are there any other particular questions or anything you want them to learn before you send them back off? Anything you want them to focus on?
Is there a way for them to get in contact with the Edge? And where was it? Was it White Brand?
Esco is in White Brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eshka.
White brand.
Yeah, Eska's in White Brand. Alec is probably the
Alex Grimhold.
Malik and Grimhold.
Yeah. I was gonna see if Kahir had a way to contact or get in contact with them. If not, I'll find another means.
Sorry,
with Grimhold, yes. With White Branch, no.
Okay. Alrighty. You're more than welcome to using the monocle. There's no point of like scrying or anything like that where she's bugged, is there?
Investigating using the monocle, you don't see anything.
Cool. You're more than welcome to stay here for the night and get some rest if you would prefer to head on down. It would be of great benefit knowing where Tyrek is potentially and Elion as well. So if you could keep your eyes open for that, and maybe which dwellings the leaders themselves stay at.
Kahir nods and starts. All right. The watch continues quietly. Doran and Quaesitor have their conversation. Is that one that y'all want to role play out, or just give the information?
Well, I mean, because I texted you about that, I was hoping to find the exact wording of the original deal we made. Because
Yes. Specifically, what y'all had bartered away was your dying breath. Was that what you were looking for?
okay, that's good. So I don't know. It's getting late. I don't mind speeding through, just like the lore dump to it. Like he has the information now, and here's the conversation after that. Hello?
Quaesitor, was there anything that you wanted to mention?
I think just processing it and kind of, yeah, beginning the process of coming to terms with that and what that looks like and the care that needs to be taken in battle and such.
But she did say there were ways we could attempt to work around it. We could attempt to break the curse, but more likely than not, that's going to bring more problems on us. We could make a deal with a higher, more powerful creature. We always try to destroy, kill her. Probably, she's part of a coven, so she's going to have allies that are going to come after us. Really, what I'm wondering is, what do you think? I don't want to. I feel as though I made my choice and I'm willing to live with it for as long as we have. Being taken out of the fight that someone could bring me back to, that's the part I have problem with. Honestly, she said dying breath, and
Lost your sound.
What?
You said dying breath, and then your sound cut out, but we can hear you again.
She said dying breath, but I feel like somewhere in the word, and someone smart enough with words, maybe we could find a way to say how not being able to get more breath was never truly part of the deal or something. I don't know if that worked.
It
It's
seems
as though there's this stipulation that wasn't explained. I suppose it would have been implied, but
I suppose it was in a sense, and we failed to understand it. I'm afraid that the stipulations of the agreement are arcanely imposed. I don't know that if it was something we had to uphold, and we found a loophole and got out of it, I think we could potentially avoid the negative consequences. But as it's something that just happens to us, I don't think we can find a loophole in the wording. I don't know that it's in our power to change, at least in that sense. It would have to be by some more powerful arcane means, or, as you say, destroying the source of the agreement, being the hag.
well, it needs the coven of those hags. It's not just going to be the one, as far as I understand it.
Certainly.
But that brings up the next point. We do technically know a higher, more powerful potential ally of a fake creature. I hate to bring it up, but there was the daughter of the Eventide Empress who had fancy dry. Might be a way we could speak with the Eventide Empress. Maybe there's something there. As far as I'm concerned, if I were to change the deal, an extension of time is what I need. If I could ask for that, if we could get past this conflict, and then the deal goes back into motion, I'll live with it. But I don't know. I feel like
I feel a difficult thing to renegotiate, as I can only imagine her position would be anytime you are in danger, you would put the bargain on hold until you were safe again, and that seems to negate the effect of her end of the deal. I can think of a tier of more powerful individuals than you and I. Master Corian, for one, but I don't know if he would be powerful enough. There's the Underlord, which we have a significant tie to, myself in particular, who could have the power, but is also a fan of making deals, and that could potentially go in our favor or not, or a little bit of both, more than likely. We have a relationship with him, and he might have the power. And then, as you said, the Eventide Empress has the most direct power over the bargain holder, but we have the least connection to. So there are options to explore, I think, if we make it out of this. I think for now we protect each other and we stay alive.
Stop. But it's not the choices that we made.
Are we on watch right now? This is before that or during our watch? During our watch.
Yeah.
Do you remember at one time, in the vein of staying alive,
Mhm.
I
It's just the two of y'all that are awake. Everybody else is asleep.
Doran,
Again,
in the vein of staying alive, Doran, do you remember the time I made some special eggs for Sulyex that made him hardier? I could. They were hard on me, but you are a more of a fortitude than I like Sulyex. I could try to make some for you.
remind me, please. These are those little magic beans and stars, aye? That's
Okay.
what that was? I
Yes.
don't remember.
Yes.
And the magic beans produced eggs that you and Sully ate and did things. You planted the other beans, or you planted another one and it sprouted that, as I pointed the remains of the statue we killed.
Really hoping
Or
he did
some
not know where the eggs came from.
Huh?
No, that is correct.
Oh, did I not know that information? I don't remember.
No. I was hoping that Doran forgot, but he didn't. So.
The statue's there, isn't it?
Oh yeah. No. I was hoping you didn't remember where the eggs came from.
Well, see, now I don't know if I'm just.
Oh no,
I don't know if I knew that or not.
I'm pretty sure you probably knew.
Doran's smarter than you.
Problem is, Garrett get confused.
No, you're
So, if the magic beans produce these things, what's to say they're not going to produce other things? You know what? Fine, let's give it a try. But however, well, here's the question: how many of these magic beans of yours have you left?
I have 3.
Magic beans, all right. Do you know if they're going to produce like beasties that are going to want to kill us or something?
I doubt it.
I am filled with innumerable amounts of confidence.
Oh no.
Here's a thought. Here's a thought. I want to give the beans a try because that sounds fun. Maybe we wait till the morning when everyone else is awake. That way we're only half stupid with our decisions.
If we wait till the morning, then Bry and Halbert are going to get mad if we try and use them. And they could be really good. And if they're not, we'll take care of it.
There's a voice in the back of your head that's saying, "Half stupid is still stupid, darling."
I don't hear a voice. It's just like static. It's like static in a 1,000-yard stare. Magic beans and strength.
So, Quaesitor,
Yes.
are you going to?
Beans.
As he's weighing the options, I plant 2 beans.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yes! Roll a D100 twice.
Oh no.
And as I see
Oh,
it,
yes.
I turn around as he's going to plant that. I'm like, maybe we plant just one. Oh, right.
Too late.
Bean number 1. The percentile is first, then the D10.
Yes.
I never understand how that works.
Yeah.
I believe
No,
I rolled a 10 on the percentile and a 5, so it's a 15, right?
yes.
15. Nice.
It's a Balrog.
There's a 50-50 chance this goes well.
Oh.
Do I roll again, Lauren, or do you? I think you roll this probably.
Tell you what, take your D20.
Okay.
Highs, it goes well. Lows, it goes badly.
Here we go.
Where did you plant the beans? Where did we go? Are we still in the cave?
No. Wherever the dome was, I would have gone.
Quaesitor, if you leave the dome disappears.
Oh no!
Let the chaos reign! Is everyone ready to roll new characters?
I just got mine.
What? Okay, so what do we say for the D20?
Highs, it goes well. Lows, it goes poorly.
Hey, it goes poorly.
Yes. Okay. Because you planted the beans at the same time. Roll the D100 again.
We're rolling initiative.
Oh, I hope I get the same thing, but the good result, because that'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
Well, I'm just rolling initiative at the start of the next game.
What are the odds? 3PL? All right.
Hey, we got another nest of eggs. So it's an 83.
Yay! Bravo.
So it's a D4.
So this will be our consolation prizes after.
So there's 5 eggs.
Whatever.
Grab those suckers and eat them fast.
Dang.
They could kill you.
Yeah.
So as there are 5 eggs that pop up, as well as Lauren, if you want to.
Okay. So from the nest that is slowly sprouting and forming these eggs, there's also a branch that branches out.
As I'm saying,
And it just starts
the eggs
to grow and lengthen and extend, and within a couple of seconds, it's taller than Doran. And a few seconds later, it's taller than Quaesitor. A few seconds after that, it's brushing the top of the cavern and is starting to bend over, and you feel vibrating through this air, this creaking, groaning of wood shifting and turning into a roar. And you can see, hunched over, bent over in this cavern,
Oh no.
is a large
Is it
ant, or a tree ant, excuse me. Lord of the Rings, don't sue us. A large tree ant, and it's the look on its face is furious.
I go to
Just angrily, it's roaring, its eyes are glowing red. We are going to roll initiative at the start of the next session. That is where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Hey, Lauren, just had a question. We are in a cave in a dome. Yes? Okay, good.
You are in a cave in a dome. The tree ant is just outside of it, roaring angrily. Just
Still in the cave, right?
Still in the cave.
Wonderful.
I see Rye wake up.
Combat!
We will have combat at the beginning of the next session.
I have a question.
We're
Yes?
back, baby.
Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome.
Yes, but a tree ant is like,
A creature.
I'm being nice because
one-
technically it would have pushed all of y'all out with the space that it consumes. So
I was
rather
looking it up
than
'cause
pushing y'all out, it pushed itself into the first available space, which would have been outside of the dome.
So, and I haven't had a long rest yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Nobody's
good. I'll
completed
get
the
these
long rest at
spell
this
slots
point.
back.
How many hours have I been asleep?
Like 1.5.
Cool.
This happens this early in
Fast does
our.
attunement happen?
We're gonna.
If you're focusing on it and deliberately attuning, you can take a short rest. If you're accepting it and letting it happen passively, it takes the full long rest.
Y'all were taking the first watch, so you could have attuned over the first watch, correct?
Is that acceptable?
I'll allow it.
Are we attuned to these things? Because we also talked for a little while after we handed them out. Would have been long enough to.
You know, sure. I'll permit it. We'll
Neat.
say that you took the time to connect with that in memory of your dearly departed friend.
I'm so excited. We're fighting a triad.
So, thank you,
Jordan.
everybody, for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming along with us on this adventure. We are so glad you came. Have a wonderful week. Stay healthy, stay safe, take care of yourself. Check out our social media. You totally should. We're the Keep RPG. Find our videos on YouTube. You can watch us live on twitch.tv/the Keep RPG on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. We will see you next adventure. Thank you very much. Bye.